The markets are cooling off here in crypto land, but this is just as we get news, real news, that China has officially legalized cryptocurrency and its possession by law in mainland China. This is an absolutely monstrous piece of legislation, and this comes as leading analysts are predicting that we are going to see massive upside in crypto over the next 12 months. This is, of course, as we're leading in to an election year, which is almost always a massive positive stimulus to the economy, to the markets. It's time to dig in and tell you why I am long-term so absolutely bullish. And I believe that people giving up or getting too bearish here is the wrong response, whereas I personally am looking to keep adding on this way down. Let's get into this. First of all, if you're on the artist formerly known as Twitter, x.com, you're probably going to have realized that people have pointed out that we have completely retraced the grayscale pump. And of course, everyone was very exuberant when we learned that the courts are siding against the SEC and in favor of the BTC ETF. However, nothing is a straight line, as we said on that very day, and that just means long-term this ETF is going through. But we of course knew they were going to drag their feet in the short term. I even said it, they were probably going to delay. But guess what? We scroll Twitter and we see just news after news. By the way, this isn't shade at anyone who's tweeted this. I'm a big fan of a lot of these people. But as you can see, all we're seeing is, by the way, Grayscale is totally retraced. This Grayscale pump has totally retraced. This Grayscale pump is totally retraced. It's almost as if, you know, that thing where like the news stations were all saying the exact same thing over and over and over again. That's what I feel like happened over the last 24 hours as this move retraced. Like every single account was just pointing it out. Like, shout out to everybody. You guys are killing it. But ask yourself, did the big boys know the SEC was going to delay? Yes, they did. And does that make it any less likely for the Bitcoin ETF to eventually get approved? Absolutely not. So was the pump the fake out, or is the dump the fake out? I'm not saying I have the exact answer for you, but I think you know what I'm trying to say here. Meanwhile, former SEC Chairman Jay Clayton is coming out and saying an ETF for Bitcoin is inevitable. Listen to this clip.
It is clear that Bitcoin is not a security. It is clear that Bitcoin is something that retail investors want access to, that institutional investors want access to. And importantly, some of our most trusted providers who are fiduciaries or have duties of best interest want to provide this product to the retail public. So I think, as Anthony said, an approval isn't inevitable.
You hear it. The former SEC chairman. Bitcoin is clearly not a security and an approval is inevitable. So do you really think that this is good or bad for Bitcoin long term? Do you really think that with the halving coming, with us already having been in this massively depressed market, that the downside is scarier than missing this upside? I mean, there are tons of leading analysts that have predicted 6-figure, potentially 7-figure Bitcoin over the coming 4 to 10 years. And to me, that is something too juicy to pass up. Now we add in the fact that Chinese court has declared crypto legal property protected by law. And that's literally hot off the presses, fam. If you guys don't understand how big of an influence China has been on the entire crypto ecosystem and its growth to today, then you guys don't understand how this stuff developed. Some of the earliest Bitcoin transactions were selling World of Warcraft gold from the United States to China. The Chinese mining economy has always been absolutely insane. And we can only assume all of the attempts to ban Bitcoin were really ways for the Chinese government to control this industry and get it into a place where they felt like they had their arms around it. But make no mistake, many participants don't believe the 2021 bull run was even a real one, considering the lack of involvement from China. And now we're seeing Chinese stimulus across the board. We're seeing China trying to pump their economy, pump their markets. They're cutting rates, they're refinancing mortgages, and they're trying to get number to go way, way up. And all of this as they're legalizing crypto. To me, this is totally not priced in to what could happen in the future. But I know what you're saying, Elliot, the macro's terrible. All of these things need to happen. What about the recession coming? Well, I heard an interesting take from Raoul Pal over on Crypto Banter this morning. I'm gonna play it for you, and we're gonna break it down for you step by step. Listen to this, because according to some analysts, we're already in a recession. I mean, it makes sense. Everyone's getting laid off. The entire economy has malaise. Prices are down and people are rinsing their credit cards just to hold on to their lifestyle. Doesn't that sound a lot like a recession to you? Listen to this.
I think we're done. I think by November, inflation is going to be 2% or less. The thing that will accelerate rate cuts is the banks. You know, if those regional banks start running into any banana skins and slipping up, then the game gets really interesting, because then they have to stop QT, they have to start rescuing banks, and then the real game is on. We're starting to see the economies that led the rate hike cycle cutting. weirdly, this time around, it was Brazil and Chile and a bunch of others. They've all started cutting rates. So the rate cutting cycle has started globally, and we will just see more and more countries in the rate cutting cycle. The Europeans will need to stimulate at some point. They're going to finish their cycle. Inflation, they'll do the same thing. They'll try and make sure inflation is absolutely going to undershoot their target of 2%. The US will do the same. The UK will do the same. And then it's all on for stimulus again, because they need to repay this debt. The only way of doing it is shunting it onto the balance sheet of the central bank at lower interest rates.
So while many are running scared here, top analysts are predicting that we are actually close to the end of this cycle and that interest rates must come down. In fact, the Federal Reserve put out their own dot plot showing that interest rates are predicted to come down. It's important to realize the government and corporations simply can't pay the interest on their own debt. So we either see a complete widespread financial collapse, we see banks fail, we see everything fail, and we already know that the United States will not let banks fail. So once they start saving banks, once they start stepping in to fix these issues and plug the holes, new money is going to flood into this ecosystem like never before. Or I guess just like before, just like always before. But the point is, I believe that we are not seeing the new beginnings of a horrific new bear market, but wherever we dip down to here, to me, screams and reeks of opportunity. Now, before I go any further, I want to thank the sponsor of this video, NordVPN. Now stop. I know most of you have a VPN, but you probably do not have threat protection. As many of you know, I was recently hacked, and the source of that hack started with having my data leaked, and this is highly preventable. So I'm going to introduce you to a product that I'm using and I highly suggest that you use. If you're using crypto in 2023 without a VPN and threat protection, you're effectively letting your name get added to infinite amounts of lists of people that just want to attack you, to phish you, to find out how to extract value from you. So if you have any other VPN, I highly suggest you cancel it and switch to Nord because it supports the channel, but most importantly, because you can add threat protection. Threat protection is a security solution designed to defend you from everyday cyber threats. These include malware, trackers, and it scans all the files you're downloading so that you don't end up with viruses. This is a seriously powerful tool, but the best part is you can get it for $3 per month. That is nothing. Trust me, that is nothing compared to the cost that it will take you to deal with these cyber attacks once they happen. It is a literal nightmare, and you can fix it with just clicking on the link below where you'll get a massive discount and you can sign up for NordVPN with threat protection and be safer for literally a few dollars per month. And best of all, they have a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you sign up, you don't like it, you can get your money back, and you can know that you clicking on this link is helping support this channel in a massive way, as well as keep you safe while you're browsing online. So let's create the absolute best content that the crypto world has ever seen, because I'm about to start putting all this sponsor money to work by creating the absolute best team of researchers that this industry has ever seen. So please support me, support the channel, click on this link and get your NordVPN today. Trust me, you will not regret it. And I sincerely thank Nord for sponsoring this video, as well as you guys for watching this channel. Now back to the video. We see CL, the cat, obviously a famous crypto personality here, saying early 2024 is for up. And kind of off topic, but Robinhood is now buying back the SBF shares from the US government for $606 million, which is great news for FTX creditors. What do you want from me except a bull market, Elio Trades? If you guys are excited about this, you know what to do. Destroy that like button. As always, we're trying to bring you the absolute best content in this entire space. We're not playing around. We're here to do this at the highest level, and I have a ton of coins that on this dip I'm looking to accumulate. So I'm going to be coming out with a video. I know I've been saying this, but I think it's finally time, because as we go down into these dips, that's where the buying opportunities are for good coins. Again, as always, if this content is useful to you, you know what to do. Smash that like button, subscribe, because nobody's going to come close to the content we're making this time. As always, I'm Elio Trades. Make sure to watch this video. It's popping up right here. It's even better than the one you just watched. What do you think of the mic off to the side here? Do you like the new camera angle? Let me know in the comment section below. I'll see you very soon on the next episode.